I'm just reading Autocue, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say there was no Autocue with me, though?
You didn't do Autocue?
On CBBC, you had no Autocue.
Really?
No Autocue.
Oh, my God. So you just had to look down the barrel. Just
Down the barrel.
Rotted.
And wing it.
Is it?
Yeah. It's Mo. He doesn't even know who I am.
Oh, don't do that, man.
You're big time, man. Listen, big time.
Don't do that.
Literally, me, I'm like...
Don't do that, man.
Literally, I was like, okay. I was like,
Nah, man.
who pulled out?
I've been on the one show with you.
I know, but look, Mo, you, even though, I'm much older than you, you still are an inspiration, even for people who've gone before.
No,
because you've come out.
But you done stuff. I know we're like giving each other, but you were like, you got to remember, yeah, there's a generation of us as kids, especially black kids, that you was our first face on television growing up, to the point where it was almost like, is this a real person? Because I only know my memories of them as a child. Like that's like a whole generation where we sit there and we're like, raw, like growing up, that was the person I seen maybe in the morning or in the evening, and the person that I related to, the person that I feel like I know that person. And then you get older and you're like, oh, raw, like I'm doing one show. What? Angellica Bell? Oh, raw, that's raw. And you want to hold it in. It's like your inner child wants to like come out and say like, oh, I grew up watching you on TV, by the way. Yeah, of course, man. 100%. 110,000%.
I'm not coming on here for you to make me cry, yeah?
No, but I promise you, I swear to you.
But it's weird because at the time, I guess it was strange for me because I didn't really have anyone before me.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to like navigate all of this on my own. When you say that, inside me, it's almost, I find a peace because it thinks, do you know what? It was worth it. Yeah,
100%. I had to hold it in when I went on one show and it was like, hey, what's happening, Mo? You're right. And I'm like, right, Angellica really knows me, like, right, like, but also I grew up watching you on TV. Like, I remember like watching you on CBBC and stuff. And I'm like, right, okay, let me hold it in. There's one which is like an age thing, which is like growing up, but there's also, it's just another black face where you're like, oh my gosh, like this is someone I felt like I knew in my house as a presenter, but also as like, I feel like I know this person. Like, and it's the same, I guess, for like Sir Trevor McDonald.
Yeah.
You know, it might be like an Ian Wright. There's some people that are held in the hearts of the black community where it's just like, that person was responsible for like 15 years of my life as a person where it was like, cool, there's a black person on TV. That it's proof, I've seen it. It's not an imagination. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, 100%, man. Listen, even to have you on the pod, it's the first thing I asked. I was like, yeah, that please come on the pod. Like, not in a sense of like, but you have a story that's so fulfilling that we also would never know. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm in a different generation of doing TV where people are like, yeah, like it's normal, like if you have like Saturday night show, and I know all of my elders are like, yo, like we didn't have no one saying pussy on no Channel 4.
Yeah,
you're a different generation,
and that's why for me you're a G.
Oh, big ups, man.
Because I was told to my face,
yeah,
we would never have a black person on primetime, and you know sometimes I sit back, I can see myself in this meeting where I was told that it wasn't like they were just crediting what I was doing, because it was like, you're brilliant, you know, on CBBC. I was there.
Yeah.
But they were like, but you know, when you make that step, it's not that space for you.
Yeah.
So for me to see you do that, I'm sitting there going, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
oh, big ups, man.
because that almost helps me carry on. I can still keep working. I think there's still dreams and possibilities for me, because I think you always need to have dreams and possibilities whatever stage you're at, whether it's you're 10, 20, 30, 60.
Yeah.
You know, the world's your oyster.
Yeah, man.
So that's why I'm like, I'm gassed.
No, man, listen, man, the feeling is mutual. But let's go to not your beginning. I didn't know that you said Lucian. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I'm St. Lucian as well, you know.
Lie.
Yeah, my dad's from St. Lucia still. Yeah. I got bare family in Castries. Yeah. yeah.
I knew there was a synergy. Okay.
So your parents are St. Lucian,
Yeah. So Castries, Soufrière. I love it. I know it's a small island, but we represent.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that I've got that history. And in fact, I'm going to be going back to St. Lucia at some point this year just to reconnect. I haven't been there that many times, but I love it. I just love the Caribbean.
It's got a real nice calmness about it, I think. Not to say that other islands haven't, but it's got a stillness about it. I don't know if that's because it's a volcanic rock. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, but it has a real nice stillness to it. Like, I remember going to the Sulphur Springs.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah, my dad went because my dad goes there to wash his locks and stuff in it. And I remember just going in there and just sitting in there, and I was like, this is so boring, man. But then sitting
but the
in
minerals,
there,
babe.
No. But then sitting in there, how I left afterwards, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's like after that, the way you just have to. I don't know if that's a Caribbean thing though. With the way of life is just like, yo, chill out, relax.
It is on a different pace. Easy.
Yeah. I don't know if that is it, but I never forget that. I remember going after the Sulphur Springs and just being like, oh my God, I feel so at ease now. So relaxed, man.
It's a great pace of life.
So you grew up in West London, right?
Yeah.
Would you say, like, in terms of early on, did you want to be a journalist?
No. It's funny, growing up in Ealing and West London was interesting because all my grand's family, she came over during the Windrush era, they all moved to South.
Yeah.
But she got a job in West.
Okay.
So we were like the only black people on the street. And I always just wonder why the neighbours next door never chat to us.
Yeah.
But in my head, I wasn't thinking of, deep. I was just like, we're nice. Yeah. We're cool.
It's different now because I feel like now you kind of need to know your neighbours.
You need to. Community is everything.
Yeah. Now you need to know who your neighbours are. Hello, how you doing? People watch out for each other. But yeah, so I loved it. I loved where I grew up. I loved my gran. My gran was just the life and soul. She had energy. She was a cook in the Caribbean. And then she came over here and she got a job cooking, and she would cook in offices and schools and stuff like that. And that's how I learned to cook with her, you know. And we used to get the bus from Ealing, the 607 or the 207, to Shepherd's Bush Market. Get our food, ground provisions, yes. Like, bring it. And she used to barter with the people. I'm not paying for that. That's too expensive. So yeah, love West London vibes. Because your first job was a newspaper round.
Listen.
Yeah. That's why I asked about journalism. I didn't know if that was like a routine or something. You know?
No, I just wanted the money.
And that's like those cash in hand jobs when you're young as well.
And it came in a little envelope.
Yeah. I always wanted one. I never got one. But then I lived on an estate in the 90s and like no one was really getting newspaper. You can't deliver. People just take it.
They're just, yeah.
Give me that paper, man. Take that out.
Literally, I was just walking the street doing that. The paper round was good, actually, because it got me out. You know, and you see your environment. Yeah. So I quite enjoyed it. And you get to know your community. So that was my first job. And the feeling of earning and getting my own money.
It's such a nice feeling, isn't it, at a young age?
You feel like empowered.
Yeah, you feel like you can buy the house
you
live in.
There you go. And then I also used to, in the summers, wash people's cars.
Okay, yes. I do rate it, though. When I see the young kids, I'm like, it's good to see the hustle, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's it. That is what I think I had from a young age, the hustle.
Did you work at McDonald's as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've had proper, like, those not... like hard graft jobs, do you know what I mean? Not in a sense of like bricklaying or anything, but like having to not so hard, but like front facing jobs where you got to give someone a newspaper, knock on the door, leave it there, or McDonald's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Serving people fast food.
Do you know what? I've never thought about it like that, and you're right. There were jobs where you had to graft, because I remember it was the free paper in Ealing, so there was loads of them. and go back and get them.
Okay.
And then with McDonald's, the shifts, I used to do the early shift, the shifts that no one wanted to do. Yeah, you have to get your customer service skills, talk to people.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to love being on the tills, just chatting to people, but then fries and being on the station. And when it was busy, it was like, come on. It was full on, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's that idea of a notion, I'm working hard and I'm going to get paid.
And I think when you do it with people, when you're interacting with them, especially for me, because I worked in retail a lot, the minute I started having to do, let's say, television, you got to read or Autocue in front of a live audience. You're like, this is just like reading the returns terms and conditions to someone who is annoyed that they can't get a return. That's how I would kind of envision it.
Would you process it like that?
Yeah, because I'm like, this is very daunting. I'm talking in front of loads of people and I've got to deliver this down the camera. And I know everyone's watching. And especially, I don't know if you've had this where like you're talking, like let's say like down at Autocue and you've got a guest on and the guest is really watching you present and they're like, they're really looking at you like...
They're looking at you intently. And you're going, are you looking at me because I'm doing a good job? Or are you trying to psych me out? Because I don't know what you're doing. But you're looking at me. They're looking you in the eye. You'll be like reading something and they're literally...
Yeah. You're like, why are you looking at me, man?
Yeah.
And you've got to look down the barrel like, okay, all right, cool. Especially when you mess up in front of people. You're like, oh, okay, all right. No, it's just, if you can... You try to do... Yeah, sorry, if you can just slow down also, it's going to be a bit quick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, we're just going to finish up. Yeah, all right. Okay. All right, you ready? Okay, in 3, 2. So, guys, that draws us to a close. But what a pleasure it's been. And that's goodbye from me and everyone else here at One Show. Bye-bye. Yeah, you're right. Because you're like, see? I fucking murdered you. You're watching me.
You were waiting for me to stumble. It's so true.
Especially if it's like a big star as well.
Big star. And that's why whenever I go, obviously I've, presented for a long time. So whenever I go on someone else's set, I purposely don't look at them.
Yeah.
Don't look at what they're reading and stuff because it's the worst thing.
I try my best to just look at, because I don't know when I'm on. If I'm being interviewed, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and they'll be like, oh, so coming up, we have a man who is about to do a world tour. And I'm like, oh, right, that's me. And I'm like, well, I'm looking, oh, all right, cool. But I know what you mean. That intense look is, it can be a lot, man.
Do you like being interviewed?
I don't mind it. I think because comedy, I'm used to having a conversation with people I don't know. So an interview is the same, but it's like, well, this person knows about me.
But that's because, you know they say, when, obviously from my perspective, they always say when you interview comedians, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can hide behind the jokes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And
the
making people laugh, and stuff.
Yeah,
but then when you got to talk about yourself, it's like, do I have to be funny or not? Or do they want the straight me? Or...
Do you know what it is? I think whenever I do an interview and I kind of tried my best to get a sense of, I'm like, okay, this is live, so I know we're on the clock. So I've got to push the tour, be funny and be charming. They're the 3 things I've got to push. Let's say it's like One Show, for example.
Yeah.
I know I'm there to push the tour, but I might be looking next to me and it's like, a music legend. And I'm like, if anyone's tuning in right now, I feel like they're probably tuning in for this legend. So I also want to find a way to like, oh, how can I get you involved? Because you probably don't know who I am, and that's fine. But I know that I've got to push the tour. Maybe I remember when I was on with Whoopi Goldberg, and I
wouldn't have been able to know what
listen, the day before I just done the O2 innit, so I was on a high.
Yeah,
and I'm like, right, this Whoopi Goldberg, right, and like, right. So I was like, it's Whoopi innit, like I want to fan out.
Yeah,
but also I'm like, I'm here to also tell people about the tour I've got coming up. And she was so nice. And she was like, she didn't say a big fan, but she was like, I heard you done the O2 yesterday. And I was like, what? Whoopi knows. So when I went on the show, I was at ease because I've had a little rapport. But some people you don't get to meet. So I try my best to just get them in the conversation and say, oh, yeah, I'm on tour. We're going to be going to America. Oh, Whoopi, you're from America, man. You're from New York. If you want to come, you can come. Yeah, I might come. I know she's not. But I think I learned that very quickly on like in a sense of doing TV stuff when you're being interviewed, where you're like, this is a couch, so let's make this a conversation that everyone can feel involved in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's whenever I do an interview and it's like, maybe like a podcast, for example, and it's like, cool, if you want me to get deep, I'll get deep. But it's like, what do you want? Do you want the bants? Because we can do the comedy stuff. But if it gets deep, this is going to get very deep. Like, and I think whenever it gets deep, people are like, oh, it's a bit deep. You're talking about being depressed. Oh, okay. Yeah. So what makes you happy in life then, man? I'm like, well, what do you want, man? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you didn't do journalism, but you went into politics.
Yeah, I went to university and I did a politics degree.
What made you go into politics?
I just was really interested in the world. I like watching the news. Politics is every day. It's all around us. And I really like that it was something current and I could use past experiences, but think about the future. I just thought it was a really good degree. I mean, I did A-level politics, history and English. And I just like essay-based subjects. But I just thought it would be a great degree to do because I was thinking of doing law. I was going to do a law conversion. I had a family member who was a barrister. I think he was at Middle Temple or something. And he said, look, I can get you work experience. And he was black. So for me, I was like, oh my gosh, there's somebody who could help me in this career path. But he died when I was young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was going to sort out my work experience stuff. Then he died suddenly. And that really rocked me because I was like, oh my gosh. Most people have connections. And I loved him. I loved him so much. And I thought this was going to be something I would do and he'd help me. But then he was gone. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I don't have a connection into that world. So I still had that place to do my law conversion, but I deferred it and was trying to work out what I would do and stuff. So politics was a means to an end. Yeah. But it was also about the world we live in. And it really helped me sort of try and think about what I wanted for my future, politics, people, why people do the things they do. Yeah. So yeah, that I really enjoyed my time at university as well. I was the first person in my family to go to university. Oh wow! So again, I was just trying to work it out, navigate that. Yeah. Did it feel pressure to some degree because you are the first person to go to university? And I think it's also I feel like now university just feels like a rite of path for a lot of young people now. Yeah. Whereas I know when you probably went to university, it wasn't the norm as well. Yeah. I remember even when I went to university in I got 2010, and even then it was still some people's like, I could just get a job. Yeah. It's only, I feel like after that it was like, not like you go college, you go uni, it's easier to get in. There's a lot more different universities. You can find your way around what you want to study. So did it feel pressure to some degree? The pressure was on myself. I'm one of these people likes goals. And if something isn't meant for me, I'm like, I want it even more. I just thought I want that goal. I want to try and better myself. I want to break cycles. So I thought, just do it. So yeah, there was pressure on me to make sure I got there. Yeah, yeah. And I now I think back, I'm really proud I did that. And I wanted that for myself. That was right for me. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to go down that path, but it was right for me at that time. Yeah, whether it was breaking the cycle of just staying at home or breaking the cycle of the past. But I just wanted something for myself. Yeah. I didn't know what it was, how it would come. I didn't know what job it was. Because again, people say, do you know what you want to be when you grow up? I didn't know what I wanted to be. Yeah. Sometimes I still say, I don't know what I want to be now. But it felt good. It felt good to go. Yeah. And also as well, we didn't go on holidays. Back then it was just like you either went back home or you stayed in your yard. Yeah. One of your early jobs was working on a big breakfast. I am so fascinated with the big breakfast because for me, I remember growing up and having to get ready for school and seeing this show happen, and it was like, this is bonkers. It just seemed like adults having the time of their life but doing breakfast TV, and I was like, what? Because the only comparison I could make at the time was GMTV, which was in a studio.
nice pastel colours. But also, you change your channel and you're like, sorry, what's this stuff? This is mad. It's outside and you've got a band on there. I remember seeing people like Shaggy on there. I'm like, Shaggy, Mr. Loverman. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go. There was no catch up. It was on. And it was until I started like doing television and I'd meet people and execs, commissioners, producers, and they'd all say, yeah, I started off there. Yeah, one of the best things I've ever done. And I say, oh, wow. I am fascinated with 90s TV in general. 90s and early 2000s TV. If there's any documentary, I just want to watch it. And also meeting people in television and they tell me what it's like. And it's just like, wow, it was like that. What was it like for you, especially working on, the iconic Big Breakfast? I
remember thinking, what are my options going to be? Am I going to go into law? Or am I going to be in TV? Because I did a lot of student radio. And I did drama at school and stuff. I just liked that world of putting on a persona.
Yeah.
And also entertaining people. It's a bit like you. I liked making people smile.
Yeah.
And those are great mediums to do that. So when I finished university, I was like, or when I was at university, I was like, if you're going to know what you want to do, you've got to explore it. So I just remember writing all these letters to people going, can I do work experience in the summer holidays? And when the Big Breakfast got back to me, I was like, oh my gosh, Planet 24. Back then, I was like, whoa. Because you're right. I used to watch it. It was iconic. The anarchy, the like, laissez-faire, we're making TV, we don't give a monk. It was that sort of energy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard because obviously it was early mornings. You had to get there the crack of dawn, work hard. It wasn't the greatest jobs, teas, coffees. You were a dog's body. But if I was going to be a dog's body, I was going to be the best dog's body ever. Yeah,
everybody says this as well. Everybody that I've met that was a runner was like, if I had to just do anything, I would just do it.
Anything.
Yeah.
I remember clearly the first time I went to the house because the offices were, I'd say, a bit of a distance from the house. But
in Stratford?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. It's like I'd climbed Mount Everest and I got to the top. If you'd have said that was my only experience of TV, I'd have been like, great. It was massive. I remember they had different teams on and I'd work with different teams. Now, obviously, it was hard as well because I had to prove myself. Again, there wasn't, many minority people working in TV. So I had to be on it, make sure I was on time.
Yeah.
But it was amazing and it gave me a real insight into what was out there. I remember once they asked me to dress up. They were like, you can go on camera. I had to wear some latex nurse outfit. I don't think anyone's got that footage. That is what I loved about that time. There's no footage. No one needs to see that.
Yeah.
But I was there strutting around. I don't know how I got into that with a lot of talcum powder. But that was like my moment on TV. But I was part of the process. I was helping them. So it was a really good experience. And I think once I'd done that, I was like, okay, maybe this is an option. But you never know. And people are hustling. People are writing all the time.
Yeah.
And even though you have a dream, you never know if it's going to happen. So maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was just something I was just taking the moment, enjoying the moment, and just waiting for the next opportunity to come along. So I think I did that for 2 weeks, and then that was that.
Yeah.
And I think they had a policy where if you did it, that was it, just to get more people in and stuff. So it was a good time. It was amazing. And I think whenever you want to do something, to see how it works behind the scenes is always important.
Yeah. It gives you a sense of that. I think because whatever people see on television, any show, any TV show, is the finished articles, the finished product.
That's the gloss.
Yeah, it's the meetings that you didn't see, it's the changes, it's something going on at the back that you have no idea it's going left.
Exactly.
And then what you're seeing is just like calmness and sometimes you'll never know.
100%. And it's even like if I present the One Show now or any live show, because what I did for most of my career was live TV.
Yeah.
Even like, working on CBBC, when you had network, because I have open talkback.
You have open talkback.
Yeah,
everyone, you see, the open talkback. Okay, anyone listening, open talkback is where the exec or the director, you can just hear it.
Everything. You can hear someone walk into the gallery.
Yeah, everyone I know who works in TV, like especially people that have been doing it for years, like yourself, Dermot, Davina, or who else is like Reggie Yates, and I always ask, that's the one thing I ask, open or closed? Because a lot of us now, we're like, no, close that, lock that off. I don't need to know what's going on.
I need to get a show with Mo. He's going to open.
So you have open talkback. So that's the earpiece is in your ear and you can hear what's going on throughout the entirety.
So I could be talking to you and I can still hear full-on conversations in my own.
That is crazy. That is mad.
I'm like a meerkat.
Yeah. Wow.
And if I have clothes, I feel naked.
Yeah.
I feel alone.
Does it make you work better knowing it's open? Because you know the madness of what's going on, but you have to concentrate of what you're looking at and seeing it and then playing to camera.
Yeah. It makes your brain work hard.
Yeah.
And you're in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it gives you that 3 second buffer, or 3 to 2 second buffer, should anything go wrong. So, for instance, if you're presenting and you've got to link to a VT, but you can hear in the gallery, we haven't got the VT. Because if you're unclosed, by the time that person tells the director there's a problem, that's 2 seconds. And then he opens the talkback and goes, oh, by the way, you haven't got time to think.
Okay.
So it gives me thinking time. I mean, trust me, when I first started on it, I was rubbish.
Yeah.
And I'd be on TV and be like, repeating what was said to me. I'd like be talking about something and I'd be like, yeah, and we're having Chinese tonight. Literally, I'll just come up with random stuff and I'll be sweating going, I'm going to get fired. So
to this day, you still have open talkback?
To this day.
Wow.
I can't work like that. Maybe I'm nosy. Maybe I'm a control freak. I don't know what it is, but I need to know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I have it closed, but I guess for me it's different because I've only done a little bit of live TV, but also knowing that I think with me, I always have the pleasure of going to comedy for something.
Yeah.
So I have the pleasure of like, this is going left. Let's bring it back to a bit of comedy, maybe calm it down. So if someone tells me, yeah, Mo, ask them about that, or okay, that clip isn't working, but we're going to go with that, or okay, we've got someone coming on. I'm like, okay, I know that now. It's almost like how comedy works. It's like, it's a heckle. Cool, okay, blah, blah, blah. Also, now, we do have your clip. Unfortunately, because of copyright, we can't show it. Oh, that's how famous he is, everyone.
Yeah.
So that luckily is my saving grace.
So it gives you time to ad-lib, do your thing.
Yeah.
So maybe you're a control freak as well.
No, definitely with TV.
In a different guise.
There is ways that I like it. Like, for example, I like to go through every part of the show on Autocue. So if it's like we're putting that in the Autocue, then before the show, I'll then sit down with the person with Autocue, go through it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's take that out. Let's shorten that. Because, they'll be like, okay, you've got to say that. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll go to the Autocue person. I'll be like, listen, cut that all out.
Yeah.
Say that bit. We don't need that quick. And they'll look at me like, you sure? I'm like, listen, I'll take the flag. But cut that out. And then we go to that bit and that bit. And then I there's a way that sometimes I just need to see what the line is.
Then I think that's because you know you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with knowing how you work best.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas sometimes people think, well, that's control, but it's not actually. You clearly spelt it out that is how I get my best performance, and I know I can go from A to B.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing. Even in life, if you know how you work, what works for you, go with that. Yeah.
No, I think it's always been the key to my success to also work with the people behind the scenes that I work really well with. So I work with an executive producer called Rianne Archibald. So she was one of the first execs that I'd work with on like the Big Nasty show and then my own show. and we have a great synergy of someone that knows me.
Yeah.
And like doing things like the Brits, which is like, oh my God, this is live. You've got a lot of egos, different musicians.
That was a massive gig.
But at the O2, but also for me, it was just like, okay, I just want to do myself justice. Whether people like it at home or not, that's up to them. But I need to know that I say this link, how we've written it with my friend David Ajo, who I work with as a writer, and it comes out. Because if people watch it and they're like, I don't believe that's you, Mo. I feel like you're just saying the line.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever had this, yeah? You ever like, when it's, because you've done a lot of live TV, right? Where it's like, okay, that's the link. We're going to go in with that. Sticking with that, yeah? Cool. And you say it, and there's that sigh of relief where you're like, the way that joke or that thing was meant to be said went. And now I'm like,
Listen, 100% right. So my thing is, even now, Brethren, I get nervous.
Really?
Babe!
I didn't think you got nervous,
Get nervous. So you hear a theme tune, you're working on something, you hear a theme, you're like, okay, we're ready, we're going.
Yeah.
And if you start thinking about the amount of people sitting in their sofa at home ready for you to come on screen, you just crumble.
Yeah, 100%.
So my thing is, as long as I get the first line out and I say it super slow, slower than because I speak quite fast anyway. So most people at home won't know I'm speaking slow anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's probably normal speed. As long as I get those first 2 or 3 lines out.
It's plain sailing,
There we
it?
go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. And then you can fly.
Yeah. And then you get comfortable, innit?
Exactly. But if you summon the first one, you're catching.
Oh, no, it's done.
You're chasing.
It's done.
You're chasing.
It's finished.
Yeah, it's finished.
It's finished. Because I feel like afterwards, after you're comfortable, you can make a little, I said that line wrong, but you're like, that's all right.
Yeah.
Like, we're halfway in now.
Halfway through.
Yeah.
And also then you can just, even if you make a little stumble or you say something differently, no one at home knows, but you can style it out. And you know what I'm saying? They're thinking that was part of the script.
Yeah.
So,
but then you so after that, after Big Breakfast, you done children's TV, on CBBC, and that was in the early 2000s as well, up until 2007. How was the shift change from doing Big Breakfast to now children's TV? How was that different for you?
I mean, obviously, Big Breakfast is more risque. CBBC, I call it school. It was like being back on campus. The first few weeks, it was life-changing. Remember, we didn't have many channels then.
Yeah.
So from one minute, I was Angellica, just doing my own thing, living my life. All of a sudden, everyone saw me.
Oh, wow.
People stopped me all the time. And I was I was acutely aware of what I was doing, having the BBC brand associated with me. And that responsibility to young people.
Yeah.
And I took that seriously. And I took it seriously as well for myself because it was an opportunity that I never thought I would have. Me? Why me?
Yeah. Did you ever say that to yourself around those times?
Yeah. Of all the people that wanted to work at CBBC and get that job, I knew I was lucky. So I didn't want to mess up, because people say, oh, you've got to be really good or you can't do this, you can't do that. I was like, well, that wasn't me anyway. Yeah, I like life. I like to party. I like to have a good time.
Yeah, you're an adult.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also am aware of consequences. Anything you say, anything you do it, but think of the scenarios that could happen. I did value the job and what it brought. It gave me an income. And I saved, going back to what we were saying, earning the money.
Yeah.
I didn't come from much, but I had, that's fine.
Yeah.
That was my lot. I'm not one of those as well who's like, oh, woe is me, or the glass is half empty. The glass is always half full. But I remember I lived with a lady, and she's sadly no longer with us, but she had this house, she'd paid for it, but she needed company. And I thought, I'm going to live with her. This is while I was on, I lived with her just before CBBC. And then when I got my job, I stayed, and, it was nominal. She just wanted company. And I saved every penny.
Oh, wow.
So it was as if I was back at home living with, and she'd be like, why are you coming back? She, she used to tell me off. But I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to sacrifice. Even our Otis, who I did short change with, he would be like, Jelly. At the time, he'd be like, Jelly, come on, what are you doing, man? Let's get a place. Let's go, let's go. I'm like, nah, I'm saving my coin. And that's how I had this job. I was saving my money and I was just learning new skills. So we do the afternoon. It was, like I was saying, it was like school. And then we'd sit down with the producer and they'd be like, okay, let's talk about, you'd look back on your tapes and look at yourself. How could you do that better? It was proper learning your trade. Why did you say that? We don't say that. How could you have said that better? How are you standing? Because I can stand and present and just be still. Where some people can't do that. But that's because you used to watch yourself back. No one likes hearing themselves or watching themselves back. It's just like cringe, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what we had to do every day. So you're critiquing yourself.
It reminds me a little bit of like the process of drama school in some ways. I've got some friends that have gone drama school and how heavily they're critiqued on acting is like such a brutal crash course in learning a trade that, friends of mine who have gone to some drama schools and they're like, bro, like for days I would come back crying because I didn't think I was good enough. But now I'm the best actor I can be because I went through a process that was so detrimental for my mental health that it made me stronger. And I think if I would have went into acting straight away, I would have just crumbled because I didn't have that
resilience.
And that
you built up,
yeah,
100%. Because there were sometimes you just inside you were like, I am rubbish. Not that anyone said that to me, but if you're having someone tell you how you can be better or critiquing you, that's what you think. You second guess yourself. That training was invaluable. Every day watching yourself back, watching the tapes. We also had to watch all the shows before they went out. We'd have to come in. So I'd go on at 3:25, whatever. Yeah. But I was in at 10 watching every single programme before it went out on air.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Oh, right. Not even like a quick highlights or...
No. Skim it through. Fast forward. None of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And that's interesting in itself because that meant, say the show, the tape, something happened with network and you're in the middle of the show and it came off air, you could be like, you could almost fill in the gaps. I remember there was a time when there was I think it was the Twin Towers, and in one of the programmes there was something that could have been triggering. And if we hadn't watched that show, we couldn't have flagged that and they could have changed the episode.
Yes, yeah.
So, there was method behind the madness.
Yeah.
Even though at the time you'd be like, oh gosh, I've got to watch these things. But again, it was going back to taking the responsibility, for your audience to make sure you knew what they were seeing so you could flag anything if you needed and just be across it so that you didn't look silly on TV. So you're right, it's building those defences, those walls of resilience to overcome anything thrown at you, especially with live TV. And also because all eyes are on you.
Yeah, if it goes left, you'll be the one.
Well, no one's remembering the producer.
Yeah.
No one cares about the producer's name.
Yeah. You'll be the one that gets blamed. Yeah, why did she say this on TV?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just reading Autocue,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say there was no Autocue with me, though?
You didn't do Autocue?
On CBBC, you had no Autocue.
Really?
No Autocue.
Oh, my God. So you just had to look down the barrel?
Down the barrel. And wing it.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you had notes, though, or anything?
So
like
we
cue
had
cards and stuff?
No cue cards. So we had a bare script. And it depends who you presented with, how much script there was. I know some producers who even now will message me and say we didn't really write much because you usually, or I'd rehearse.
Yeah.
And depending who I was working with, I'd just say anything. But that's how you got the laughs.
Okay.
Just springing things on your co-presenters and stuff.
I see. Okay.
But as long I always knew what we were coming out of, what we had to plug, if there's a competition, what we had to get across, and the next show.
Yeah.
So I always knew the arc. I just knew how to get there in that time.
Yeah.
So even if I was just being a bit silly or we were corpsing or make each other laugh.
I feel like children's presenting is such a... Because you don't have the luxury of going off the cuff. You can't say anything that might be a bit, oh, they said this, or you can't swear. It's such a skill as a children's presenter, because one, you are the face that some kids disconnect from, school, what's going on in their life, and they're like, for this, for some kids as well, it'll be a treat. Like after your homework, you get to watch TV.
Yeah.
And there'd be some kids who's like, I had a miserable day at school, but I know I'm gonna go and watch CBBC, and these are like my friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mo, do you know how many people now have come up to me on the train? I'll be on the train, walking in the street, in my pajamas in the Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
Come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, I used to run home after school to watch you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. Just, you made me laugh, you made me smile. And when I presented, to get over it, because sometimes I'd be thinking, what am I doing? This is nuts. I'm talking to a camera. Whenever I'd think like that, I'd make a mistake. I had to just be like, right, that camera is one person. And I used to say to the camera in my head, I'm talking to one child sitting in their home, watching me now, and they're my mate, exactly what you said, and we're going to have a laugh.
Yeah.
And I had to do that for my own sanity, because it was quite overwhelming. But I also wanted whoever, Johnny, Michelle, whoever was watching me, to enjoy the best 2.5 hours of their day.
Yeah.
And that's why I would laugh a lot, because I wanted people to know that I was enjoying it, and I wasn't just there for the money or just to fill the time.
Yeah.
I was there because this is good.
Yeah.
And these shows are brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did you ever have any like knockbacks or I guess not so much knockbacks, but I guess in terms of, like you're saying, you'd be critiqued a lot on what you're doing. Was there ever any knockbacks or gatekeepers in the sense of when you wanted to break out from the mold of being a presenter on CBBC, and you're like, I want to break out and I want to do this now? Did you ever find that in your career early on? Yeah,
I did. When CBBC was amazing, and I think it was ahead of its time in terms of diversity and giving people opportunities, because if you look at the stable of incredible presenters who are still my friends and are
They're
brilliant.
Still on TV now.
Still on TV, still doing their thing.
Yeah.
I just think, oh my gosh, it was a great place, a learning curve. But to get out, it wasn't level for everyone. And there were champions. I had amazing champions, but sometimes they'd say, it's, you're not the right fit. Or, I used to get a lot, you're just a bit too CBBC, too smiley. And I'm like, that's me. But also, if you're produced, you don't smile as much. That's what I was, I remember once I was filming for a show, and the producer, I think I'd got onto the One Show at this point. So I was doing little VTs for them. But anyway, I was making this film. And the producer said, could you do that again, but be less urban? And inside, I crumbled. But I had to, and this maybe goes back to the resilience thing, I had to find something to just be in the moment. So I said, what do you mean? Help me. What do you mean? What do you mean by less urban? Just less urban. So in that moment, I was like, this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I said, well, this is how I usually do it. I was already working on the One Show, and they was like, No, we did it again. And then we went through the day, and the whole day I felt awful. Like there was a break in between filming, and I was filming with this person again. That's fine. But to this person's credit, they came up to me and they said, do you know what? I need to apologise to you because the camera was still rolling. So they went back to the edit and they saw themselves say that. That made me feel better. that I didn't have to bring that to the table. They had to see it for themselves and hear themselves say that.
Yeah.
But I know it was a different time because it was, I was told, you're great, but we will never put a black person on primetime television. And that's why when I see you, and I will say that again, it's amazing. You say you watched me and it gave you hope, but I watched you. And I will say that again because I thought I would never make it on primetime TV, but I kept going, and I didn't let those negative thoughts, negative comments. And I think some of those people thought they were doing me a service, telling me this is how it is. Mm-hmm. Rejections came all the time. I was rarely first choice, but I was still there.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the glass is always half full. I was still there. I was still in the running.
I think sometimes that's almost more powerful to sometimes still be invited to have the conversation or the meeting, or that you're like, oh yeah, we thought of you for this project. And sometimes, where you could be in a position where you're like, oh, that's great, like, thanks for having me in. You can even say, it's great you brought me in. I know I wasn't the one you wanted, but also I don't think this is the right thing for me. But I do appreciate you bringing me in. And you might see someone do the job and you're like, oh, well, they found a person. I knew I wasn't that person.
Exactly. And also, what's right for you always comes to you. So I never get stressed. But it is powerful, Mo, and I think you've hit the nail on the head with something, but also in another way. Because sometimes when you're not first choice, you've got less pressure. And I don't take it personally. You can't take things personally. Because sometimes the people making the decision don't even know what they want themselves. But when I've known I'm not first choice, I'm just like, yeah, come on. I am going to make you realise you should have come knocking to me first.
Yeah, I know you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah.
I know you wanted someone else, but you've got me. And then you absolutely smash it.
Smash it.
And then they go, oh, what are we going to do now?
Exactly. Or they start saying, yeah, I wanted her in the first place. Whatever. Yeah.
Because now in terms of like, you are a front-facing face on our television screens, whether it be the One Show, you fronted things like the Chelsea Flowers Show. There is, the Martin Lewis Money Show. Do you know what I mean? These are shows that are like prime time, sitting down, I have, my dinner, and you are the face that comes on. We're not talking like, because sometimes it could be like, oh, prime time, 10 o'clock. And it's like, you're still, even I didn't know that when I had a show at 10 o'clock, there's some people like, yeah, no, I got to go to bed at 9. I'm like, what, on a Friday? You go to bed at 9 o'clock? But like 6 o'clock, when I started realizing TV is that 6 to 8 period is like, no, this is real tea time, prime time. When you think of like, not the London mentality of like, oh, well, people work till 7.
Yeah.
But like out of London where you're like, yeah, the corner shop closes at, I don't know, 8 o'clock. And it's like, yeah, no, we're going to watch the Martin Lewis Money Show because I want to know about how to save my money when it comes to energy bills and stuff. And again, it's like, it takes the notion of, you're down the barrel talking to someone who is genuinely like, I am struggling to pay my bills. And this is someone that I recognize from my childhood, and now I'm an adult, and I'm going to listen to your advice and hold on to it and take it into action. How does it feel now where you are in your career? Do you feel that you are probably more comfortable where you can go on like a MasterChef? Congratulations, obviously winning it and stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. So I didn't have to mention it myself.
but do you feel like more comfortable that now that TV has changed somewhat, that you can like, I can be my true self and I can do different bits of TV, that I can show myself cooking, I can be a presenter, that I can be comfortable? Or is it, I can't be comfortable because I want the next thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. I think now I'm so comfortable. Yes, it's taken time. Well, it took time because one, you're in your 20s, you're trying to work yourself out full stop in life.
Yeah.
But also because I think there was a a sense that I had to be grateful.
When did that stop? Like, when did you say, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed? Because I done the same thing once. I got a show, I said, bro, I'm really lucky, man. Someone said, never say that. Never say you're lucky, because you didn't win in a competition. You are blessed. You have a talent that God has given you, but you're not lucky. You didn't win a competition. You are meant to be where you are. When was that for you?
I remember my boss on the one show, a good few, but maybe that was like 15 years ago. Not that it happened then, but, you know, the seed. And he rang me up. I was filming, I was filming in Bristol, actually. I got off the train and he rang me up about something. And I always had to do this. I always did this thing. Some of my times when my bosses ring me, I ring up. They ring me up and I see their number come up and I go, what have I done wrong? Because I'd automatically think, why is no one ringing me? They only ring me because I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, stop saying that. And he goes, stop saying that. And then he was talking about some job and I was like, He goes, I want you to cover more on the sofa, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, And he just went to me, stop being so grateful, Belle. Own it. And it really took me by surprise, you know, like someone being that direct. Because sometimes in media, you know, people just chat rubbish. Yeah. And I remember I thought about that. I was like, actually, I've grafted. All that training, sitting there watching myself back. Was that in vain? And also, I wouldn't be getting those jobs if somebody didn't believe in me. And then I just started thinking, you know, come on. Now, you got to remember as well, like we said, CBBC, I had to be myself. Yeah. What I love about a children's audience is they see the whites of your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't suffer fools. They can see it. They know. If they know what they like, they know what they don't like. Yeah. And I love that because it's not rude. It's just like, nah, or you get a letter say, you know, we preferred that when you did that. Or, you know, I remember I did 50-50 once and we used to film that in Scotland and I loved the schools. I'd sit with the schools and chat with them. And
Bad boy show, man.
Bad boy.
Always wanted to go out of my school, man.
Listen, that was a G school. And I remember a girl going to me, are you going to wear that for this recording? And I was like, yeah, do you like it? No. You look better in colour. So I said, shall I change this top? And I'm like, yeah. So I went and changed the top. Came back, I was like, what do you think? I like it much better. It's not rude.
Yeah.
She wanted me to look brilliant on 50-50, which she was going to be on.
Yeah.
Whereas if an adult said it, you're like, yeah, that'd be there.
Yeah. I'll tell you, can you believe what they just said? And we're like, here we are, 50-50.
And in the first line, you're making a mistake. And I just thought, yeah, I've got to own it. People. There'll always be people in life who like you, who don't like you, whatever. But you just got to bring yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that was a seed. And the more I sat on the sofa on the one show, did other shows, the, you know, Chess Flower show, whatever, worked on any show, the more I could just be like, hey, it's me. That's one of the reasons why I did Celeb Big Brother this year. Because I just wanted to be free.
Yeah.
No scripts. No earpiece, no open talkback.
Did it feel like when you went on a show like that, you was like, finally, I can be like my authentic self, and not my presenter self, or my CBBC self? It's like I can just be self. And a lot of people haven't seen self before. Yep. You know,
just self, enjoying life, no drama. I don't do drama.
Yeah.
I just want to have a good time. Half of that as well has become because I have had friends who've sadly passed away way too soon. And I live my life very much as if, Mo, we're sitting here now. You can see me. You got my energy. You looked me in the eye. If I were to die tomorrow, you know that I died happy. Yeah. And that's how I want you to remember me. That's how I want people on TV to remember. That's how I want my family to remember me. She lived the best life. I wake up every day and I'm like, this is me. But that's why I want people who on TV to see that as well. And that's why I loved that sort of experience where it was just real.
I guess it must be so, like you're saying, with you being comfortable now, it must allow you to have a flexibility of going on a Big Brother or MasterChef, or, you know, you went to the Arctic as well for like 5 weeks. You know, you raised a lot of money with Sport Relief. Over £1 million for Sport Relief. Yeah. There must be a flexibility that's quite nice the minute you get to feel a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like once you sit in the sofa and you say, this is all right, but if I prop this pillow up and then lie this way, I can put my feet up and it's even more comfortable.
Yeah.
Are you at a stage now in your career where you want to push the boundaries in some ways as well? That's like going on things like Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah. I remember at the beginning of the year, it was a bit of a shock to be like, oh my gosh, I started on CBBC 25 years ago. I like writing, like I say, I like goals. And one of my goals was, I just wrote, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So some of the jobs that eluded me before, they weren't right for me then because I wasn't ready. So now I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why I'm on the podcast now.
Yeah. That was timing as well. It was just like I was here and you was here for two completely different things. I'm not even one of those like business people that's like, I was like, I'd love to have you on the pod. Like, that's a no-brainer. The minute he was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, right, you're like, okay, all right, cool, let's, yeah. Because I used to always very much hold back in a sense of like, well.
Did you?
Yeah, because I'd want to be professional and be like, I'd love to get in a pod, but like, I'll do it for your management because I don't want to feel like, it feels like you must say yes now because we're in the same place. Do you know what I mean?
But we've chatted today. Do I look like someone who would do something they wouldn't want to do?
No, but I think with having anyone's time, as much as like, sometimes it's easier to say yes because it feels less uncomfortable. Because you could just say, look, I just don't do podcasts. I've met people that say, look, don't do podcasts.
I don't do podcasts.
Yeah. No, but there's some people I've asked that, do you want to come? And they said, bro, I just don't do podcasts, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, and I get that. And there are some people that will say, yeah, I'll jump on, man. Yeah, cool. Oh, cool. Well, listen, I'll get them to shout your management and then we'll do it that way just so it feels professional. And it's almost like, yeah, no, they've said no.
It's so funny about the
Yeah.
I know, that's awkward. I can see that's a hashtag orcs. I'm like, okay.
And it's all right, but I'm always like, okay, let me do this professionally and properly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like you come from a time where it's just like, yeah, let's do the thing. And all right, just cool. If you want to shout my person or I'll give you my number, cool. I've met a lot of people that have been in the broadcast and entertainment industry who've, like, people who've done it for a long time are like, yeah, cool, man, take my number. Cool, let's just, you're the producer? Cool. Yeah. Whereas I think there's a new, and I'd probably include myself in that, where it's just like, okay, cool, well, this probably has to be done professionally. I'm not trying to be a diva, but probably if you do it through the manager, then it just works. Do you know what I mean? Okay,
so this is a really interesting thing you've touched on here, because I have not had an agent for years.
Really? Wow.
No
one gets the commission.
Yeah, man. 100% for me.
Yeah. No commission, boy.
Yeah, I manage myself. When I got my job on CBBC, my life changed. And one of the things I said to myself was, I need to remember who I am, my roots, and stay connected.
Yeah.
Listen, I want people, if they see me anywhere, to feel that they can come up to me and chat. Because at the end of the day, it's those people who were kind and invested in me and showed me love. That means I'm still here.
Yeah.
So that's how I've always wanted to roll. Now, I haven't had an agent for a long time. That's for different reasons. But, you know, there was a time where I was not making money. So CBBC was great. You know, I was a face, rolling contracts, do all the shows, short change, 50-50, I was doing everything. And then making that transition was really difficult. And the hustle was real. And there was a time where I was like, I'm going to have to sell the house. I wasn't afraid because I was like, I've been blessed. I had a good run. I didn't know this was going to be for me. It's happened, you know, I've done it for a good few years. And the people representing me at the time, I just thought, I don't want to put that baggage on them.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have to change course, change jobs, it has to be because of me. It has to be because I couldn't get the work. If you've got someone, a middleman there, you'll always have to blame, you can only blame them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was on my knees and I thought, right, as soon as that happened and I was in control, it started moving. started moving, Mo, for me, because I think I had the fight. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's fight or flight, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. I'm like, yeah, here, this is me. It's harder for somebody to say no to my face than it is to an agent or middleman. So I think I got more shots because they were like, actually, this Angellica, she's all right. She's quite funny. Do you know what I mean? Because they saw me.
And you just go straight to the person.
Listen.
Yeah.
And also, I always say, listen, I don't mind. Just get back to me. If I'm not right time, and most of the time they'll be like, actually, something's come up. Message me. Can you do this? Can you come fill in? And it started moving. I want people to ring me direct and ask me. I want people to...
I guess you also have the pleasure of being in the business for over like 25 years. So you know how it works.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I was at the peak of my career that, you know, you asked to do all sorts of things. And it is difficult because you want to help loads of people.
Yeah.
You're on another level. You do need to have that barrier and protection, Mo, and you shouldn't feel bad for that.
Oh no, definitely not.
You know, I'm saying it for you because for anyone listening, you know, if anyone, you know, you can't get access, whatever. There's a reason for that. Yeah. You're another level. You know, that's not because you don't want to have that connection with people. It's like, you got to protect yourself. Do you know what I mean? Literally. I'm just saying it for you, so anyone listening, I'm saying it for you.
Yeah, I think as well. I think for me, my relationship, especially with my managers, we built each other up. Does that make sense? Yeah. Where it's a relationship of, you know, it's not you work for me and I didn't get that job. It's never that. It's always I look at every job I do or as a partnership. So it's like, this is a partnership.
Yeah.
If I go into this job, I know I'm the front-facing thing of this job and it goes left, it's a partnership. We rise up together, we fall together.
Yeah.
But that's what the partnership is about.
And that's a healthy partnership. Has
to be.
Partnerships in any walk of life have to be based on that. Otherwise, it's just going to fracture.
Yeah, and I think that's why I think when I was able to do television, I was always concentrated on like, cool, how can we collab with this? And knowing that you're like, oh, cool, well, there's this production company and they're going to work with another one. And that seems great because you've got two amazing people from two production companies going to come together to make this thing. Like, if it's successful, cool. If it's not, it's all right. But we brought like the best of, I don't know, the best of a doctor and a dentist together. All right. Like, he might not be able to do open heart surgery, but he might say, hey, you know what, like, in the environment of some of our patients, we play a bit of like classical music. It really calms them down. You know what? I never thought of doing that during heart surgery. And I think once I seen the power of collaboration, I was like, okay, cool. That's how this thing works.
Yeah.
Because everyone tells you, oh, you got to play the game. You're like, what's that? I don't get that. What's that?
What's the game? Because
in my head, I'm like, is that like a tap dancing thing or what? And then you're like, oh, I get how this person makes a film with that person and they've done 10 films and you're like, oh, because they collabed and now they're brethrens and they're like, listen, I want to make a Hollywood film and who do I trust to have an actor on screen is, I don't know how it works. Leonardo, we worked together. Martin Scorsese, let's do that again. And once you start realizing that, you're like, oh, the power of collaboration.
100%. You bring that expertise over here, that expertise over there, and it brings together. And I think that's why, you know, I've lasted, because sometimes it is give and take. And it's, you know, people I've worked with over the years, they're like, I'm working on something, haven't got much money. And I think about it, I'm like, actually, I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for you. But also, I think it will help me. Yeah. Tutus, then now they're running companies asking me to do things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's blowing my mind here. You be like, Tutus now. I need to hear this on the One Show next year. And we got Tutus squirrels in Berkshire. Around the VT.
And then Tutus, we're going to go to a live OB over there.
But like, where, you know, like in terms of as a broadcaster, presenter, you know, there's so many people that'll be listening to this episode and watching it who are maybe behind the screen or they're in front of the screen, and you've done so many things that are front facing to the point where now where you are in your career, you're like, oh, like I feel quite comfortable. I feel like I can pick and choose what I want to do, but also show a side of myself. You know, there'll be some people listening to this and they're like, I didn't know Angellica said 2 2s, you know? Like, because that for them feels like, oh, like, yeah, like you're from, like, you're from London. Like, you are part of the culture. And yeah, like, you are the person that I grew up. Because I think sometimes there can be a mist or a facade, like, where, you know, people say to me, like, oh, you're from South Mo. I'm like, yeah, whereabouts in South? You went somewhere nice, innit? I said, nah, bro, grew up in Camberwell and Peckham, bro. Really?
Yeah.
How come you never got into any badness? I'm like, because I just didn't, innit? I just wasn't about that life. Not everyone does.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But I think it's like that. I think when you do TV, there can be this mist or, you know, oh, I wonder what they're, okay,
what they're really like.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's so interesting as well. I've never been asked this. I used to feel like I had an alter ego. And I was leading a double life.
Yeah.
And it didn't used to sit easy with me because I like going bush, going to Autocue, getting my West Caribbean food, my West Indian food. I like going out, you know, running out the place. I love it. But you don't see that. And sometimes I'll be like, am I being my true self? Am I fitting a mould? Maybe I was moulded to a certain extent to sit in a space. And, you know, people say you're very different, you know, in real life. But like you said, I feel now it's those two different personas are coming together.
Yeah.
But I think if I had pushed against it or be like, no, I'm not saying that, or not spoke, because people say, oh, you're quite posh. You know,
Yeah.
I just know. He's laughing. He's like, yeah, I saw her out in the corridor before.
I get that to this day. If I say a big word, people are like, bro, you're quite posh, innit?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, it's no big words, bro.
I'm not posh. I'm just like,
Play some Scrabble.
when I spoke to my gran, I spoke well. I didn't speak to my gran the way I speak to my brethren.
Yeah.
When I go into a shop, if I need something, I speak polite, so I get a good service. When I'm speaking to Michael, I'm running him. you know, do you know what I mean? I'm like, so when I'm on the BBC, when I was speaking, you know, I wanted to speak well. Sometimes people might be like, oh, what's she really like? You know, I like Missy Elliott. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love all different things. I like a bit classical, like a bit this, like that. I like being broad and having broad interests. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think I've had to sit easy with that as well. Now I'm like, actually, if I want to get my freak on with Missy Elliott, I will.
Yeah.
But then if I just want to go down and, you know, listen to a bit of Mozart, why not?
Yeah, 100%. They live in the same space. It's music, innit?
It's music.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So now I'm like, this is me, my business.
I can't wait till the next time you ever do Heart Radio or Classic FM.
And now we are going to be listening to Handel's Messiah.
Run the ting, Steve, innit? Run the ting, bruv.
Play
I'll
it
pick up
now.
my utes, bruv.
Play it now.
Oh, man.
Rewind.
How do you start looking towards, you know, like the latter part of your career in some ways, of like your end? Because come from very humble beginnings, do you know what I mean? St. Lucian parents, and, you know, you done those front-facing jobs of like giving out newspapers, working at McDonald's, to, you know, building yourself up, which everyone says, you know, you got to start off somewhere, big breakfast, children's TV, to then being a front-face presenter on our television screen. So now you're at a point where you can be comfortable, and if you want to go to the Arctic to raise loads of money, you can do that. But if you want to go on Celebrity Big Brother, that's still good to do, because you're like, well, I just want to show my original self. It's just a bit of a vibe, and yeah, I just want to be on TV. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how do you look at like your future in some ways? And, you know, there's so many. One is like, you know, you're a face within television as a presenter that's on mainstream TV, but it's like I was saying, within the black community, it's like, raw, like Angellica Bell, yeah, I grew up watching her, you know, as a kid. Do you know what I mean? And there'll be so many people that want to get into this industry, and you will be the blueprint to follow. So how do you start looking towards how you want, like, your legacy to be shaped as you get older in some ways, you know?
I always think when you have opportunities given to you, you've been blessed, you should put things back in. And that's not a cliche. That's me, but I think you should. And I've got better at talking and realising some things that happen to you in life, or things that people say to you, it is what it is. And it's how you make that into something positive, mould it into something positive and share that. So I become more vocal, try and give advice. The younger generation need role models.
Yeah.
You, whether it's me, you know, everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm always open, you know, to give advice, talking to schools and stuff. I love young people.
Yeah, yeah. And they really remember things as well.
Yeah.
People forget. If you go into someone's school,
oh my gosh,
because that's also a lesson off.
Listen, I went and doing a job the other week. The girl comes, there's a group of girls there, and they're like, "Oh, I've got claim to fame of yours. I've got claim to fame with you were involved in it." I said, "What's that?" "You came to my school when you were on CBBC."
Oh wow!
And spoke to my school.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that.
Wow.
I was like, wow. Because most of the time, it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, you can have an impact on somebody. You don't need to be famous.
Yeah.
But just saying something, giving someone time, giving them a hookup to help them. Because remember, there's enough food at the table for everyone.
Oh, listen, it's a buffet, you know.
It's a buffet.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand why some people are eating all the chicken for themselves.
But let's be honest. If you're at a party and you're sitting there in the corner with your plate of food, being like, "Yeah, I got the nicest pieces of chicken," and no one, it's like, bro, you don't. It's not really a vibe, you know.
It's not a vibe.
You're eating by yourself.
Yeah, by yourself.
You can't tell people how good the food is.
Yeah.
Just come over
Sit
here,
down.
man. Yeah.
Sit down. Let's eat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
So it's about sharing your stories, sharing your experiences, helping people, celebrating people's wins.
Yeah.
I love it. It gives me joy. I'm sitting there, I'm at home looking at people going, look at them. I love it. You know, this year I was given an honorary doctorate this year.
Oh, congratulations.
I was like, no, I'm not saying congratulations. I was like shocked. I was like, whoa. But again, optics, I always say this to people about optics. Whatever you think about yourself or how you feel, most of the time it's not how other people view you. Yeah. And you can't control anything but yourself. You roll with it. You celebrate yourself. You need to say to yourself, I'm great. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Before I jump on stage.
Yeah, you got to say that.
I say it out loud. Yeah.
I've worked hard. I deserve to be here. I deserve this space.
It's very, very important. Like I'm big into law of attraction and putting it out to the universe, but also I think it's very important for people to say good things about themselves, and it's not this whole I've got an ego, or I'm saying this. It's like no. Like, we say more negative things to ourselves, and we can relate to the negative of like,
exactly.
Oh God, I'm not really good at this, you know. And we're used to hearing that to ourselves as opposed to saying, no, I'm really good at this, and I'm smashing this live interview. I'm smashing this read, or whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah. It's saying that out loud to yourself.
And there's nothing narcissistic about that. It's just about celebrating yourselves and your achievements. And that way, then you can help other people.
Yeah, most definitely.
When you're in a good space, you're able to help others, and your energy exudes to others. And you carry people along with that. Yeah. I feel really passionate about that. And I guess with being at ease with myself, there's not that need to necessarily, I don't need to be really famous. I don't need to be earning loads and loads of money. I just need to be happy and ensuring that I'm pulling other people up. Yeah. In the way I can.
Oh, Angellica, man, this has been such a vibe, man. This is probably one of my favorite episodes. I promise you. I'm not saying that to say it, but it's such a pleasure, having you on the pod and just speaking to you, like, away from, you know, television in the sense of like just passing through and you're like, hey, I was like, and action. You're such a credit to television in the sense of there is people from like my age group that would have watched you on television, but then the way that you've been able to cross over and transcend. And I think one thing I started to realize of once I was able to be on, let's say, television and such, is one thing getting there, but it's like sustaining it. And it's only until you meet people and you hear of the hardships of what it was like when they first started, or, you know, where they are now. And like, for example, you saying, now I feel comfortable, you know, and you like, some of us would never have thought that, because you're like, oh, right, like you've been doing this 30 years, must be well comfortable. You got an ass, you live in that. You're like, no, but it's like everyone wants to go into work and feel like they're appreciated, but you also want to go into work and know that when I have lunch I can still sit there and feel like, yeah, like people want to sit next to me and they hear what I've got to say when the lights aren't on, and the cameras aren't on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, no, I think you're a massive credit to that. And yeah, it's nice to see you in this space now, and you say like, yeah, like I just want to be comfortable.
Can I just say, I've loved it.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I've loved you have
listen,
coming on the podcast. I really
I remember when I saw you at the NTAs, I literally was fanning you, going, I can have a picture with you.
Oh, swear.
And you stopped and you had a picture with me.
Do you know what's mad? Because when I used to go to any of those events back in the day, I used to be mad shy. So I'd meet people and I'd want to fan out and be like, yo, like, I used to watch you as a kid. Like, but also I'd be like in a bubble, because I think when I went to a lot of those events, I was like, am I ever going to come back? I don't know, you know.
Really?
But I just wanted to compose myself and because everyone, normally it's like you go to those things and everyone's a bit cool. And also knowing, I was looking around the room and I was like, I don't really know anyone here, but there's no one I feel like I can connect to that looks like me or sounds like, and nobody. Also, I'm at this weird juxtaposition where you're like, oh, you've done a bit online, a little bit of TV, kind of know you, but I don't know you enough. But I want to say hi, but I don't know, innit? And I think, you know, it's really weird actually about that, is because I remember going to that and there was a few actors and people behind the camera, and it was, oh, we're going to do a picture at the stairs. We're all going to meet at the stairs. All the black and Asian talent was like, we're going to do a picture. We're going to do this picture. And I missed the picture. And I was like, raw, man. Like, didn't get to be in the picture. Because in my head, I was thinking it's going to be like an iconic picture.
Yeah. And
everyone looks back at it 10 years' time. And I was like, I might never come back here again. And I always said to myself, if I come back, I'm going to really just enjoy just being here. So if I see someone and I want to say, hey, like, how are you? Love to meet you. Big fan. I'm going to make sure I do that. But then also, I think the next time I did get to go to the BAFTAs, I was like, cool, I'm going to do a big after party for all the people that don't get to come.
Right.
That was like, I was like, I might just win this once, but I want to make sure that everyone who's here doesn't feel like how I felt.
Right. And can I just say, so you had the table, and I remember Judy Love coming up to me.
Yes.
And
yeah.
She was wearing a yellow, amazing dress, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's like, babe, you're coming with me to Mo's party.
Ah, yeah.
And I went, Mo's having a party. Right? And she's like, yeah, he's having a party and you're coming. I said, nah, I'm not coming. I'm not invited.
What? No. Listen.
No, I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah.
She's like, Mo would want you there.
I swear to you, 100%.
And I was like, nah, I actually said, nah, he doesn't even know who I am, man. I said, I'm not going. She's like, come. I said, nah. And she went to the party. She kept messaging me, come. I didn't go.
You see the pictures afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah, I was vexed. But what? I was screwing, man. I'm like, I should have gone to that damn party.
The party was
but I don't want to be. No, but this goes back to what you were saying. When at these events, I'm usually a +1. Mo, I'm not invited. I'm a +1.
No. But
so I'm going there the same. I'm thinking exactly the same thing as you. Oh my gosh, I might not ever be invited to this thing again. So I'm just gonna keep it low key. I'm not gonna be pushing myself at Mo Gilligan's party. Yeah,
no.
So it's. And so this goes back to the optics of how we see ourselves. I'm seeing you going, oh my gosh, I'm in the same space. you're seeing me going,
Oh my gosh, I'm in the same space.
but we're not saying that.
Yeah. It's mad that, isn't it? Because you know what's mad? You know why also I done it is because I remember meeting Rio Ferdinand.
Oh my gosh, I love Rio.
And Rio said to me, he's like, when we do our PFA event or something, and he said, yeah, like Andy Cole would do his own party and it would be all like the black players and they have their own party upstairs. And he was like, yeah, we'd have our own thing. Like this would be our thing, innit? And it's not to, I always like, look, it's not to exclude anyone. That's not what it is. But it's making sure that there's someone who worked behind the scenes on a project who is going to go on stage and accept an award and be like, I stand at the back because I don't really, you know. And it's like, bro, like you was a producer on that, you know.
You're part of it.
You played a part in it.
That wouldn't be winning if you weren't there.
But it's also for that person behind the camera to then be like, oh yeah, well listen man, it's lovely, because they don't know, am I going to go back on the next project?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure. But enjoy that night enough to be like, hey, yeah, what's good, my guy? You're right. Yeah, cool. Oh, you going Mo's? Yeah. And then, who? Mo's? My Gilligan's got something. Oh, can we come? And him feel like, now it's like, oh, I don't know, you know, but I know I can go. And I think that was what it was always about. It's really making our culture felt seen at the biggest event for some people, even for myself, where I was like, I might win, I might not.
Yeah.
If I win, it's going to be the best party ever. If I don't, it's still going to be the best party ever. And I'm going to be surrounded by people that even next year there's a thing. It's like, oh, great, you're a director. I didn't know that, bro. Nice to meet you, man. Listen, I've got this. Let's work, man. Let's connect. And I think that's what it was always about.
The connections.
Yeah,
and
because
people knowing. Because sometimes you don't know who's in the industry.
You have no idea. Yeah.
And you're all in the same space. So
Yeah.
I love that. Rio's a good person. I remember I met Rio before I got my CBBC job.
Mm.
And I think, was he still at West Ham? Well, yeah, I think he was, or Leeds, wherever. He hadn't gone to Leeds yet. Anyway, he was like, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm up for this job. You know, maybe do some TV, because I think I'd heard about it. He's like, you're going to get the job. And I had a book. And I said, can I have your autograph? He signed my book. I've still got the book he signed.
Oh, really?
And then I interviewed him on CBBC and he goes, I remember you when I met you.
Yeah.
Look at you. And he did the interview because it was me.
Yeah.
And then I bumped into him on a plane. He's like, I'm still following you, I'm still checking you. I love that.
Yeah. Big up Rio. That's what I'm saying, Peckham. It's a South London thing, you know?
I'll give you that.
But it's been a pleasure to have you on the pod, Angellica. And this has been your beginning, middle, and end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate it if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Peace.